Welcome to today's webinar, the Food Waste Prevention Week Partner Info Session. ReFed is co-hosting this webinar with the incredible Food Waste Prevention Week team who will introduce themselves shortly. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're grateful for you taking the time today to sit with us and learn how you can support Food Waste Prevention Week 2025. My name is Nate Clark and I'm part of the ReFed communications team. For those of you not familiar with ReFed, we are a US-based nonprofit working to catalyze the food system towards evidence-based action to stop wasting food. The goal of ReFed's work is to increase the adoption of food waste solutions. One way that we do that is through events and webinars like this, which can help inform the work that all of you out there are doing. Before we get into the conversation, I want to share two quick announcements. Registration is now open for our 2025 ReFed Food Waste Solutions Summit on June 23rd through 25th in Seattle, Washington. You can find additional information and will be able to register for the summit at summit.refed.org. And 1 week from today, on Tuesday, February 25th, ReFed will be releasing From Surplus to Solutions, 2025 ReFed US Food Waste Report, a first-of-its-kind report featuring the latest data on the progress, trends, and remaining challenges in reducing food loss and waste in the United States. It's a must-read look at how far we've all come and what lies ahead in 2025 and beyond. And on Thursday, February 27th, join ReFed for a special presentation, discussion, and Q&A session about the report. You can register now using the link we will share in the chat. As I mentioned, today we're excited to partner with the Food Waste Prevention Week team to provide details on how you can become an official partner of the week, taking place April 7th through 13th. Food Waste Prevention Week is more than an event. It's a movement powered by community, collaboration, and collective energy that inspires action and drives real results. And in just a few short years, it has really grown thanks to the efforts of the Food Waste Prevention Week team, but also all of you out there who helped bring everything to life in your community and across your networks. Last year, there were more than 790 Food Waste Prevention Week partners across 49 states and 22 countries who joined forces to educate and inspire real cultural change on food waste. To take us through an overview of the Food Waste Prevention Week 2025 and what you can expect as a partner, I'm excited to introduce Elaine Fiore, Behavior Change Lead Food Waste at WRAP and founder of the Food Conservation Alliance. She'll be joined by other members of the Food Waste Prevention Week team as well. Take it away, Elaine.
Elaine, you're on mute.
Now we're ready to rock and roll. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. We're super excited to have you with us this morning, this afternoon, to learn more about Food Waste Prevention Week. As Nate mentioned, I have the honor of leading the Food Waste Prevention Week planning team along with Elaine Blatt from Oregon Department of Environmental Quality and our rock star teammates, a couple who are on the call today. We have Belinda Lee of Simon Fraser University, Rachel Jackson of Eater-Toss, and also we're going to hear from Aaron Franco and Brad Bongiovanni of Rocket Ad Agency. So we are really excited to share with you what we've been planning for this year. What makes Food Waste Prevention Week special is it's a very authentic, community-driven event, and it includes everyone from small grassroots organizations to leading experts in the country. So having an event like this creates the space and purpose for people who sometimes work in silos to come together in community to raise awareness and inspire action around reducing wasted food. Before we get started, we would like to thank ReFed for hosting this. Thank you, Jeff, Lisa, and Nate for hosting today's webinar, and thank all of you for making time to be with us today. I think as Nate mentioned, the session is being recorded and you're muted. However, We want to hear your questions, comments in the chat. We'll pause to answer them at the end of the presentation, and there'll be a recording of this on our Food Waste Prevention Week website. So we get to know our audience a bit. I think we have a poll for you in the chat. We'd like to know if this is your first year. Oh, here's the poll. It's an actual official poll. Is this your first year joining Food Waste Prevention Week? Yes or no? If it's not your first rodeo, how many of these have you participated in? And while you're answering those questions, I will go ahead and talk to you about the agenda. So today, what are we covering? We're going to talk about why participate in Food Waste Prevention Week, the benefits that being a partner can provide your organization. We're also going to cover what participating in Food Waste Prevention Week could look like for you. The process to get started as an official partner is very easy. We're going to quickly run through that. And then finally, we'll answer any questions that you may have. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So we have to, as we get started, oh, look at this. We've got a lot of newbies, some returning, and some you've participated in 1 year, and 11% have all 4 years. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So we wanted to get started by commending and giving a shout out to our planning team. We really have a dynamic team that meets. We meet once a month, and then we've got our subcommittees that meet as well to plan this event. We have leaders throughout this space of creating solutions and sustainability and building community. The messaging that we have during the week comes from a very wide array of experts and passionate people. We'd like to give a shout out to all of those on the call today that are part of our planning team and acknowledge the time and the love that you put into hosting this event. And we do want to let you know if you're a partner, if you're in the audience today and you think you may want to be part of the planning team for 2026, kind of crazy to say, please feel free to reach out. We're always happy to have new voices at the table. So why participate? For many of you on the call, you know why reducing wasted food is an important issue and kind of an underrated solution, conserving resources, improving food access in our community, saving money. You know, we're seeing finally the numbers have been updated as food is more expensive now. So the numbers we've seen range from over $1,800 to the upwards of $3,000 for a family of 4. So we would like to know, these are some reasons why you all engage and get your community to participate. We would like to know why you participate in Food Waste Prevention Week. And I think we may have a poll question. These were some of the most common answers that we get. It's that people like to engage because it's part of a national movement, that feeling of community, access to assets and resources that you may not normally have access to. And sometimes people just like that there's a date on the calendar and it creates a space to highlight the good work that you're already doing through different events and activities. So that's the poll question for you there. And I'll go on to the next one. While you're answering the poll question, here are a wide variety of reasons why our partners do join us for Food Waste Prevention Week, reaching a broader audience, increasing social media, having that consistent messaging, and a sense that we're all working together towards the collective good. Close by now. All right, so here is the partner map, and I do like to spend a couple minutes to talk about the partner map. because it does serve as a tool for you. Now, just so you know, our partner map is being updated by the end of this week. If you are a registered partner currently, you will show up on our partner map. Last year, as Nate mentioned, we had 792 partners, 49 states, 22 countries. So it's kind of cool to see how broad, wide array of partners that we have. Wanted to let you know that if you zoom in on the partner map, you could see an example was last year, City of Long Beach. They zoomed in and they saw, oh, there's 5 partners nearby that I typically haven't worked with. And they reached out to me. They're like, Elaine, could you connect me with these 5 organizations? Because we'd like to see if they're interested in collaborating on Food Waste Prevention Week, perhaps an event or other ways. So just know that you could use the partner map to connect with people who are partners of Food Waste Prevention Week. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there. And I'm very excited to introduce to all of you our the ad agency that we work with, Rocket Science Ad Agency. We have Brad Bongiovanni and Aaron Franco, who are with us today. And they're going to give you a little background as to what the creative strategy was for this year. And I will go ahead and stop sharing, and I'm going to turn it over to Brad and Aaron.
Great. Thanks, Elaine. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Get this going. Share. All right, folks. Here we go. Everything looks good? No, sharing is paused. Hang on one sec. Elaine, can you see? Elaine.
I could see that you're loading.
Okay, why is it paused? Hang on one sec. All right, hang on one second here. Let me do this. Sorry about that. Let's see. Share screen. All right, I'm going to do desktop, make it easier here.
Yay, it's working.
Okay, let's make sure.
Full screen.
There we go. Good to go. Perfect. Hi, everyone. So we're going to take you through a few best practices when it comes to outreach and how to engage with your various audiences. We've been very fortunate enough to work on Food Waste Prevention Week with Elaine and her team for several years now. So something that we like to do when we take a step back and look at everything, we always ask ourselves, what story are we trying to tell, right? Because you can do that in a variety of different techniques. One of them is through photography. So one of the best practices that we like to use is kind of this problem solution. So, in the food waste realm, which we work on many other campaigns around food waste, we're often presented with a problem and folks like to show the problem like you see on the left. But we're saying, well, it may be a better best practice. Well, we know it is, to show an action and a solution almost at the same time. So you can see here, and I'm not saying that composting is the end all be all, but just again, from positioning, trying to show you some of these best practices. So instead of showing the problem, show some action, show some people, show steps that people can take to help solve the problem. Next, I'm sure you all are very aware of this, is stock photography versus real and authentic. This is a photo that we've used in the past with Food Waste Prevention Week. But when you're trying to kind of tell this story, again, ask yourself, what story am I trying to tell? And while the stock photo is nice and it looks like a mother and a daughter sharing a moment of cooking, folks now are just trained to recognize the ordinary. Stock photos just stand out in most ways, like the way we don't want them to stand out. So the one on the right was just taken with a phone camera and proves to be more real and authentic and a better story when you see this photo. They're actually at a school. Next, we do this for our own film industry across the state. When they came to us, they always harp on all the stats, the numbers, the figures. Now, there is a time and place for those, But on the surface, if we are trying to tell a more compelling story, we took those stats and we turned them into the real people that we impact on the right. So you can see here, we are zeroing in on actual people across our state that are involved in film and telling and produced some short video series on those people. So we're talking about the end result of all the work we do, not necessarily all the stats and figures, which in all fairness are big numbers and great numbers, but typically they go over most audiences' heads. So if we're dealing with lawmakers and things like that, fantastic, right? But if we're dealing with everyday folks across the state trying to win their hearts and minds, try to get them to want to know more, we need to take a little bit different approach. So you can see the difference there. So when it comes to communication, we always have these three elements that are needed. We have, everybody says, I want to make a big impact, big impact. Yeah, okay. Well, the impact, what we see it is like the Big Bang, right? It's happening, but it doesn't tell you what it wants. It just makes an impact and it's big. Okay, you're watching something happen. So you layer it in this funnel, and that next layer is the communication aspect. So now you're telling me what is happening. So, right, we've got the impact. Hey, this is what's happening. Boom, Food Waste Prevention Week. Hey, this is a coordinated effort across the country to help reduce food waste. And then now we get into the persuasion. Now you're telling me why it matters to me and what I can do and what are those next steps. So if you kind of follow this framework, it will really help up your communications to a different level and make sure you're telling that complete picture. So we always say, make the ordinary seem extraordinary. And it's so funny when, and I have kids, and if you don't have kids, it's okay, but everybody understands, Storyville or these kids' stories. I mean, we're just talking about an animal playing the guitar, sitting by a fire. But when you tell these stories, and that's one thing that we love about kids' stories, they're very simple, but they're extraordinary. You don't just say, oh, well, there was a bear. He was, 300 pounds. It was at 8:50 p.m. You're not giving kids all these facts and figures, right? No, you're surrounding them in an experience and in a story. So we often take a step back and try to put our minds in the frame. If we were to tell this story about food waste to kids, how would we tell it? And that's just a great place to start. I'm not saying that's the right approach. It just helps you to edit that creativity in our minds. Edit down, simplify. So we always say good advertising tells people a story that gives them something to believe in. If you had any favorite Super Bowl spots, if you were able to watch the game, I can't say Super Bowl, the big game, sorry. Not our favorite, I think, consensus here was the child with the boxing gloves fighting cancer. It was just an incredible story. It was an emotional story. And he got to meet his family at home after conquering cancer. Makes me tear up thinking about it. That is good advertising. So one thing we have for you all again this year are these Giphy stickers, which were very popular. This is a quick snapshot. You can see we're already up to 1.4 million views. Okay, so if folks are going in and searching food waste, we have designed these animated Giphies. They live on Giphy. If you are on Facebook or Instagram, you can go and add these stickers to your post. It's just another way to reach additional audiences with a different technique or different tactic. Obviously, with our music theme this year, we've got some really neat, the microphone, the headphones. You can adapt those and incorporate those into your social posts. We do have ways for you, kind of best practices in that partner toolkit that Elaine either will put in the link or you've already seen. Okay, we've got some chat. Elaine, if you can keep up with the chat for me, it'd be great. We'll come back to those questions here shortly. So inside the partner toolkit shows you how to access those and how to use them. Let me get here. Again, these really increase engagement. You will see on some of our posts and some of the, I believe we have some partner posts where we do some recipes and we're adding music to these. We also go in and add those Giphy stickers, and just helps increase engagement. And we encourage all of the audiences to use them as well. They are on an open environment. That's how we have reached 1.4 million uses of these stickers so far. So hashtags and analytics, these are incredibly important. And I'll just kind of give you some insight on how we use them. So we want to make sure that everyone is always making use of hashtags. It's more than just this awareness of saying, hey, folks can see Food Waste Prevention Week. these allow us to track engagement across the entire digital landscape, not just social, news, blogs. If it's digital and there's a hashtag and it says Food Waste Prevention Week, we can see it. You can see here in a previous year, we had Sony Pictures Animation. They posted a small story about one of their films. Gabby and the Sand Dollar, I want to remind you, this week is hashtag Food Waste Prevention Week. So when they posted that, we reached 3.4 million of their followers. So you can see and again, we were kind of in communication with them, but we saw that pop up when we do our analytics. That post, it'll show the top performing post who's reaching the most folks, and we can see that on our dashboard. So we recommend using hashtag Food Waste Prevention Week or FWPW. And here's why. We leverage different platforms. One you see here called Brand Mentions, where we can put in those hashtags and requirements or topics and see everything that's happening across the digital landscape. So it'll show us everything from a mention to interactions people are having, how many folks we are reaching. And you can see down, it'll show all the posts. It'll give them a score. We can look at audience sentiment. And the real power lies when we take that platform and we go in and export every conversation, every post. We can now distill out, obviously with AI and different technologies that are kind of built into these platforms, but now we have the chance to export raw data and start filtering through it. You can see here on the right from last year's, these are the top 10 common topics or themes that were being discussed across the entire digital landscape. Food Waste Awareness Week, food waste tips and recipes, sustainability practices, money saving tips, food safety, and so on. So we can get a ranking to make sure that are the communications that we are all coming together to put out in this digital space, are we seeing the results? Are folks talking about it the way we would hope that they would talk about it? And maybe, are we missing anything? Are there any trending topics that are popping up that maybe are becoming more in the forefront than other topics? So always be sure to use hashtags. It really helps the entire effort go so much further. So messaging and theme. So we always try to take a step back and get our messaging where we would like it to be. And here's an example for our film industry. We've been making movie magic in Louisiana since 1896. Did you know Louisiana had the first movie theater in the country called Vitascope Hall in New Orleans? So as we do research, of course, we can talk about the film industry and jobs and impact. But when you wrap it up around a simple message like this, it really catches people's attention. They're like, no, that's not true. You didn't have the first movie theater in the country, like New York or somewhere else had to have it. No, it was actually in New Orleans in 1896. So we even have kind of this historic marker in downtown New Orleans where it is. This is an old diagram. But my point is that a lot of times we just need to catch people's attention first, and then we can start moving them through what you saw, that funnel, to learn more and really get engaged. But we have to find new ways to do that. The average person doesn't need to understand all the details surrounding food waste. There's so many nuances. We get it. And some of you, depending on how old you are, you may remember this from the movie Big with Tom Hanks, and he's playing with these toys and he's a tester and he's a kid in an adult body and he's like, I don't get it, right? So try not to overcomplicate things. And again, we always, for social, what we are seeing now, what is working is less is more. And this is just a tip for better engagement, right? So we're seeing less frequency, meaning you don't have to post as much all the time. But if you do that, you need to replace it with something, and you replace it with higher quality content. So consumers, now with our Food Waste Week, that's a different format. We need to be hitting that week. But for longer term engagement, it would be great to do less posting, but raise that quality of content. So do one really high-end post per week instead of trying to do 2 or 3 per week. You will be surprised at your engagement level and how that starts to work. And so here's kind of a quick overview. If you have the toolkit, you've seen kind of the look and feel. We've got this great music theme. We've got real food, real tips people can take. You see in the top left, frozen food, now playing Ice Ice Baby. So we're starting to connect people with things that they remember, these really iconic songs, which again helps just kind of bring the attention to the forefront. And again, you see our poster, very simple, but really catchy. That's my jam, eat or toss, remix recipes. So we encourage you to use those toolkits and all those things. And I wanted to share this with you. If you can keep it hyper-focused, these are one of the top 2 film-related Instagrams that are online. On the left, All this person does is take a screenshot from one of their favorite films and they pull out the colors. It's called color palette. That's all they do. Every post is about this iconic scene and the colors that are associated with it. And they have 1.8 million followers, right? On the right, film tourism, which is great. And this girl travels all across the country. She has her scene from the movie and she holds it up to the actual location of where it was filmed. And you can see how everything stacks up nicely. These are so hyper focused. You would never think that they have millions of followers just based on these simple posts. But sometimes keeping something hyper focused that folks understand, oh, this person really is involved in this space and that's what they own. We can do that in food waste. So try to keep it hyper focused and that'll help. Again, here's our partner toolkit. Elaine will get you those details. We've got everything in there from messaging templates, social templates for you to leverage, all that good stuff. Use it. It's there. That's why we create it. Thank you all again. We're happy to take some questions and we can go back to any slides if you need.
Brad, I think there was one question that Aaron answered about the actual Giphies.
Yes. Okay.
If people could access, I do think that we have those Giphies available in graphics?
That's a great question. I'm not sure, but we absolutely could. We could give you those as actual GIFs. So if you load them into something, they will animate, or we can give them to you flat. So we will.
That would be awesome. And then we'll just note for those of you listening, those would be under our bonus resources for 2025. So thank you so much, Brad and Aaron. And we'll go ahead and continue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my slide really quick. Okay, so just to, I know we're going to take a look at the social media calendar, and there were some questions that we typically get from people once we offer the social media calendar. Do you need to use all of the posts in the social media calendar? The answer is no. Just use the ones that feel most aligned with your mission and your values. We'll show you the social media calendar. We're real fortunate that Brad and his team take the ideas that our communication team have and they bring them to life. So you'll see the social media calendar has graphics, it has captions. You could highlight the good work that you're doing. You can be inspired by the captions and the photos and create your own, and feel free to use the social media calendar that we share with everyone. And then just wanted to let you know that social media hits a lot of people, and it's not the end all be all. There's also the beauty of Food Waste Prevention Week is that it's a multi-pronged approach for engagement. A lot of organizations come together. They host in-person events. We have our Food for Thought webinar series. There's student engagement. Our team likes to see ourselves as a hub of sharing great ideas and making them easier for others to implement. If you look at the top left corner, that's one of our teammates, Leslie Basins from City of Denver, and they hosted a Bread to Tap event. And at the bottom, I think that's in Maryland as well, they had a type Bread to Tap event that came to us from Tennessee. Tennessee hosted these Bread to Tap events where they found they'd reach a different audience by taking bread that was going to be discarded, turning it into a brew, having trivia questions, inviting a chef to do demos, composter, people going to just have a beer, and they accidentally learn all these wonderful things. So there's lots of different ways for people to engage in Food Waste Prevention Week. And I do have to mention student, because I'm a former teacher, I have to mention student engagement. And now my role in RAP is research and behavior change based. And RAP recently did a segmentation analysis where it was shown that our 18 to 24-year-olds are our highest food wasters. And I was not shocked by this at all, because coming from the K through 12 school system, if a school cafeteria does not have a share table, we are training our children day after day for 13 years to treat perfectly good food as trash because they don't have anywhere to put it. So we want to, student engagement is really also at the heart of Food Waste Prevention Week. This year, we partner on our K through 12 planning team. We've got WWF, Arizona State University, University of Arkansas. They're coming up with a citizen science food waste audit for schools to participate in March. Be on the lookout in March. They're going to be hosting a webinar to show schools how to go about doing this citizen science food waste audit. Last year, we piloted a poetry contest where kids wrote haikus about what food means to them, which was just, tug at your heart, tells a story, and they're beautiful. And then each year we do a art contest. So there's that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Belinda Lee to chat us up a little bit about the webinars that will take place.
Thank you, Elaine. Yes, we have a whole host of webinars that are going to be coming your way as part of Food Waste Prevention Week. And what we are looking for from partners is for you to host some webinars. So fortunately, the deadline for applying for webinars is not until this Friday. So if you have an idea that you would like to share, then this is your chance to do it. We have a form that you can fill out to pitch your webinar idea. We do have a few requirements though. Webinars can be up to 50 minutes. You don't have to take all 50 minutes if you want a shorter webinar, that's totally fine. And that includes the time for Q&A. And the reason for that is so that people can join something and they can get to the next appointment that they might have. And we found that generally shorter webinars are just a bit more accessible so people can fit them into their day. Now, as part of hosting webinar, we will need you to be able to register the participants for your webinar and then host a session on a platform that you use. So for example, Zoom, as well as record it, because we will put those recordings on the Food Waste Prevention website afterwards for people to see. So if you're looking for some inspiration, we do have the webinars from the previous years on the website and you can take a look at them. Another thing with the webinars is that they are a great way to engage people from all over the place. So last year we had about 12,000 people who were joining these webinars from coast to coast as well as across different time zones. So that's a great way you can reach lots of different people. If you are selected for the webinars, you'll be contacted directly to provide some more information, and then we'll work out the schedule to fit everyone in. So if you do have any questions about this, feel free to put them in the chat, and we look forward to seeing your webinar applications. Again, they're due on Friday, so please get them in by the 21st using the web form on our website. And now I am going to pass it to Rachel for Eat or Toss.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel. I run the website Eat or Toss, and for Food Waste Prevention Week, I also am one of the co-chairs of the Cooking Challenge. This is a challenge that we created to just get people excited about cooking with what they have. And it is designed to be as straightforward and easy to work with as possible. And I hope you'll use this as a tool for engaging with people. Overall, the Cooking Challenge, we set it up so it's not a recipe contest. We really just want people to tell us every time they make something that uses ingredients that might have gone to waste. We open it up for before the week actually starts, so people can start sending in those recipes. There's no limit to the number of times you can enter. We love when people send us photos. We love when people mention that they're submitting entries to the Cooking Challenge on social media, and we give entries bonus points for doing that, but we don't require it. And at the end of all this, there's a panel of us who will be judging the entries on what we try to make objective, but is a little bit of the recipes that excite us, that use the most things the most efficiently, that have the most creative ways to use up things that might have gone to waste. And we will be announcing the winners probably about a month after Food Waste Prevention Week in an online event. And we do have prizes. We'll have 4 winners based on our scoring, and then we'll have a raffle winner out of everybody who enters. And each one of those entrants will get $100. So I hope that as you're planning what Food Waste Prevention Week will look like for your organization, keep us in mind. If there's anything special you might want to work out with us, maybe a challenge within your organization. In our online entry form, we ask people if they're part of a partner organization, and if we have a partner who really rocks it and submits a lot of entries, that would be amazing. Or if you want to set up something kind of within your community, feel free to reach out about that as well. And I think that's it for me, unless there's anything I missed, Elaine.
I think that covers it. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Great.
Before I turn it over to Elaine Blatt, I'm going to give you a quick run through of the website so you can find all of the great assets that Brad had been talking about. So hold on, let me see. I might have to stop sharing for a minute. Okay, here we go. So the website is foodwastepreventionweek.com. If you haven't registered yet, we do ask for you to register right here. Food Waste Prevention Week, 47 days away. Here's our partner info session, and you'll see the recording below. This was the recording from the January 30th, but this time, since we had Brad and his team, we'll update that as well. Kind of shows you our sponsors for Food Waste Prevention Week, our planning team. And here is the map that will be updated by the end of the week. But you can see here's the list of our current partners for 2025. So we're approaching 400, which is great. Last year we had over 700. Our partner portal, this is where you'll find everything that you need. Here's the partner toolkit that Brad was speaking about. We have it in both English and Spanish. The social media calendar is here. I'm going to just click it so you could see it. So the social media calendar, you could download the graphics by clicking. It gives you the date that the post will go out, a caption, songs to attach it to, along with the graphics. So that is all for you. I did see there was a question about the Spanish social media calendar that will be coming. Thank goodness we are blessed with an amazing intern, Gabriella, and Gabriella is finishing up those graphics being translated into Spanish. So we anticipate that by the end of the week. We spoke about the bonus resources. Just want to show that the bonus resources does take you to a Dropbox, and you can find there are Bad Apple campaigns. So these are just extras for you. Right here for 2025 are the sticker graphics. So you could see, you could use a lot of these graphics that are here. There's a Facebook banner. They're all, look, there we do have the Giphies. We do have the Giphies are located in there, and the other stickers. So if you want to create some of your own social media posts, or feel free to. How to host an in-person event. We talked about that. We hosted a webinar for our partners on how to host an in-person event. There's also a toolkit that tells you step by step. We do have a proud to be a partner graphic that has the cassette tape that we'd like to ask you if you would put out there to share. There's a link to a blank cassette graphic that you could add your own words. Also, just so you know, you can find in bonus resources these in English and Spanish, and we also wanted to put them here. There are some government agencies that have a hard time with Dropbox. So if you want I'll show you, the proclamation is usually what most people ask for. So here, I'm gonna have to sign it. I'm not gonna sign in with Word, but here's the proclamation for you to use. I'm gonna close that out. Partner info session. Here's the recording for it. Get involved. Just so you know, we've got partners, we have sponsors, universities, cities is something new. NRDC is one of our planning team partners and sponsors. Here are um, some of the assets for cities, as well as under bonus resources. The Environmental Law Institute has several, and we have items for all kinds of resources for schools and restaurants. The About Us has all of our all-stars on our planning team. Here's webinars. So if you go to webinars, this is where you could find the form. For whatever reason, there's something wonky going on with the computer. If I hit return, it goes to the list of the 2024 webinars. So if that happens to you, no big deal. Just click back to webinars, presto magico. And if you want to get ideas for webinars, you could see our list from 2024. Events, if you're hosting an in-person event, here's where the video is for the workshop that we hosted, or the info session, and the toolkit in English and Spanish. We'd love to help publicize your in-person event. So just fill out the form and we'll include that on the website. The contest, the student art contest is ready, and the contest rules. There's a graphic if you want to download it and share it, as well as the cooking challenge. We are going to be having information come shortly about the poetry contest. There's the learn section and news. And I think I covered it all, and I will stop. Oh, I am going to share my screen, but I'm going to turn it over to the lovely Elaine Blatt.
Thanks, Elaine Fiore. Is everyone hearing me? I'm sort of getting a message that maybe I'm still muted. Okay, good, awesome. So, you've already all heard about so many of the ways that we're trying to reach out to folks by encouraging them to participate in a variety of contests. Food Waste Prevention Week is fundamentally a social media campaign. And so one thing we really want to do is try to get people involved more directly with us via social media, and not just have the social media be a one-way street where they see our posts, but we really want to encourage them to participate as well. And so one of the things we're doing to get that kind of engagement in alignment with our music theme this year is this song parody contest that we're launching for this year. We'll be putting a call out to everyone to create a parody song or video that highlights the key food-saving habits that they use, like checking date labels, meal planning, and creative ways to use leftovers. It'll be an easy contest to enter. Just be creative and write and perform your parody. We'll ask folks to then post it to social media and tag it at Food Waste Prevention Week. With the hashtag, hashtag FWPW parody contest to enter. So super easy, super short. We're hoping that people will see some of these parodies that we've created and be inspired to create their own. Submissions will be open during Food Waste Prevention Week with a final deadline of April 14th to submit. And then the most creative, relevant, and entertaining entry will win a $100 gift card. We hope that'll be good incentive, and be featured on our official channels. Winners will be announced on May 1st via Instagram. So, song parody contest. Encourage all your friends and family and coworkers to come up with cool songs. I wish I were more creative. Then, we also, as we've been discussing, I think throughout this training, that we're trying to get people to engage with us on Instagram, and Brad emphasized the importance of using hashtags and so forth. So in order to incentivize people to engage with us on Instagram, we have created this Instagram follower engagement contest. And in order to enter, it's super simple. All you have to do is like a post, follow the account, tag a friend in the comments, and every time you do this, you get an extra entry. And then at the end of all this, there will be a random drawing, and the winners will win kitchen-related food storage prizes. The kinds of things that we've offered in the past include something called Food Huggers, which is a silicone food saver, other OXO food grips, food savers, not surprisingly, a lot of things related to keeping food longer in your fridge, We've offered in the past a everlasting meal cookbook to tell you how to use your leftovers, um, and uh, and so other things like that. So if there are prizes that you all think would be cool for us to offer for people who are the winners of this contest, please let us know, and we'd be happy to try to pull them together. So, moving away from the specifics of 2025's Food Waste Prevention Week, we just wanted to mention that over the past 4 years since Food Waste Prevention Week went national and that the state of Oregon became involved, there's just been this unbelievable growth in what was a state-based campaign in Florida now to a full national space that allows us to come together for a week to inspire action, bust myths, and build momentum. And I'm not going to go through all of these data, but I just encourage you to take a look, for example, at the particular growth in partner numbers, since you all are partners. Last year we approached 800 partners. I don't know where we're currently sitting, Elaine, with partners this year, but we're hoping to break that record too. Brad already mentioned that over 1 million engagements with the Giphies alone so far, and we haven't even hit Food Waste Prevention Week. But look at the increase in social media impressions over time. And then these other activities, webinars, student engagement, and other ways that we're trying to expand the reach of Food Waste Prevention Week beyond its traditional social media engagement. Anyway, awesome numbers, and we have you all and our many other planning partners to thank for this success.
Yeah, Elaine, I'm just going to point out, if you look at our social media impressions, we are a volunteer grassroots based group that plan this event. We do not have a budget to amplify and boost posts. So those numbers are because of all of you, because we have 792 partners that are all out there either utilizing the social media calendar that we offer or creating their own posts, doing the hashtags. And as Brad mentioned, we're able to it's hard to get metrics to how do you know if your event is successful? And part of that is using those hashtags. So the hashtags are in the partner toolkit. And then Brad can mention them again, but it's hashtag FWPW, Food Waste Prevention Week. It's food. This year we're using Food Love Remix because of our music theme.
Okay. So I think we've probably talked about this over and over again, but we can't mention it not often enough. We need you to sign up as partners if you haven't already, and hopefully you've already done so. But if you haven't, again, I'll just reiterate, this is pretty simple. And Elaine already showed you where you go on the website, and you can easily sign up there. But once you're a partner, we want you to really engage and make a plan for your social media or events for the week. Connect with us on social media, as we've already mentioned. And then finally, please do share this opportunity with your communities and networks. If we, our goal this year is, as I said, to break that record from last year. And boy, would we like to get 850 or more partners on board. And you can help us out by not only signing up as a partner if you haven't, but really encouraging everyone you know to sign up as well. And then the state leaderboard, coming from a state agency, the Department of Environmental Quality, this is a list that is sometimes painful for me because there we are sitting in 4th place. We're tied with California, and California is a much bigger state than we are. So maybe that's the bright spot for me today is that we're keeping up with California, but Washington's right to our north. So if any Washingtonians are on this call, I'm coming after you. But your state can be on this leaderboard if you're not there already, or you can or you can creep up the leaderboard by adding partners. This is just a friendly little competition, but yet another way that we use to encourage more partnership signups, and it's fun.
It is. And again, if you are, if you're over any of your state, if you're a state agency, and sometimes I'm asked, okay, well, who are our partners so far in Washington? So I know who else I need to ask or who we can engage in community. Happy to do that. Our goal last year, another one of our goals is to have all 50 states. Last year we had 49. North Dakota was our hold, like Trinidad and Tobago, Ethiopia, India. Yes, we could get partners there. North Dakota, we did not. So we're going to ask for your help. We're now at, we have 41 of 50 states. So we'll put in the chat the states that that we're looking for to complete. So if you have partners and friends in those states, please encourage them to join us.
Okay. And another way that you can engage even more deeply with Food Waste Prevention Week is as a sponsor. As I think has been mentioned earlier, you know, we are a small but mighty group of people, and as Elaine just mentioned, all volunteers who coordinate to make this event happen, because we see how important it is, and see the impact we can make when we come together as a community. The state of Oregon has been a sponsor basically, I think, since we came on board with the National Week. And I'll just say part of the reason that we do that is that we just see the value in amplifying our work through Food Waste Prevention Week. Food Waste Prevention Week has become fully integrated into our larger state campaign efforts within the state of Oregon. And so we think this is a good use of our money to help expand what Food Waste Prevention Week is able to do in ways that can help us leverage our work more increasingly throughout the state. So if you'd like to consider a sponsorship opportunity or partnering with Food Waste Prevention Week in another capacity, please do reach out to us. We're happy to jump in on a call or brainstorm together. As I mentioned, sponsorship is a great way to get your organization name out there and to share your values regarding food waste reduction and amplify that message. And so in wrapping up here, I'll just say a huge thank you to our sponsors, you know, the South Florida Hunger Coalition, NRDC, Hellmann's, Tennessee, Washington, other state agencies, our sister state agencies, RAP itself, the Environmental Law Institute, the list goes on. Because without these sponsors, we really couldn't do this work.
Okay, and I think, thank you, Elaine, and I think that is a wrap. That's it on our end. We're gonna open up, take a look at, I think Nate's gonna help us take a look at the chat to answer any questions that we may have missed. So I'll turn it over to Nate.
Absolutely. One that came up a couple times is is asking to share a link to the partner map. Can you just again reiterate where that is on the website?
Yep, the partner map is on the home page of the website. You just got to scroll all the way down, and that's where the partner map is located. Do not be shocked when you go on it right now and there is only Wix on there, because we've had to update it. And by the end of this week, all those partners that are currently registered that are listed below the partner map, they will be on the partner map. So look for the partner map to be functioning end of this week. And then feel free to email. I put my email on cleverly on this cassette right here. And so feel free to reach out if you would like to get connected with anyone in your area.
Awesome, awesome. There was a couple questions that came up, and I think they might have been answered in the chat, but just because another one came up about accessing the Food Waste Prevention Week logos, especially with the 2025 dates.
Well, if they are not in the 2020, we'll look under bonus resources, under 2025 graphics. And if there's not a folder in there, Brad and Aaron, maybe you could help us with adding the logos into that
For
folder.
sure. Yeah, we can add those. I saw that a few times. Thank you.
Is the link to join the challenge open already?
The cooking challenge?
I think I'm not, it just says the challenge. I'm not sure if it means, so I'm assuming the link to become a partner is open, but maybe it is the cooking challenge.
Because I believe and Rachel could speak to this, I believe it's in March, Rachel?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I put that in the chat. Hopefully it's there if you scroll up. So we have a page about the cooking challenge on the website right now. That page is in the process of being updated. And once we get all that together, then it will have a link for entering, but you can't enter yet. It opens in March.
Okay, and then for the Instagram challenge and the song parody, we're challenge palooza over here. Instagram challenge and the parody challenge will be the week of Food Waste Prevention Week is when those will roll out. The art contests and the poetry contest will kick off in March to give teachers enough time. So if you either work at a school or you're connected to a school, if you'd share that information out with the schools, we'd appreciate it.
Awesome. And then the last question that we have here is, will 2025 webinars be added soon? I noticed that link is from 2024.
Yes, the 2024 just kind of a reference for people who want to host webinars. And I'll let Belinda speak to an estimated date when we'll have the webinar schedule out there.
Yes, I don't have an exact date, but we will be taking all the applications that have been submitted as of Friday, and then we're going to meet as a committee and put together a schedule, confirm with some of the people who applied, and then put a schedule out there. So next few weeks.
Awesome. 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 Well, thanks so much to our presenters for such a great discussion, and thanks to you, all of you out there, for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. We did cover a lot of information today. We'll be following up shortly with a recording of today's discussion and some follow-up information, as well as emails for the Food Waste Prevention Week team for any questions that come up later. And as always, if you want to get in touch with ReFed, please use the contact information on the screen. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.